So, wait, what happened in this portion of the film?
Yeah, it's like,
He's a murderer.
okay, so...
The music tells me that he murdered someone, is what I wrote down.
Yeah, well, it seems that he was being investigated if the end was reality.
You know, throughout the thing,
There was the Casey and the TJ, like the...
Right, the people flipped around.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning that shit to me as if I couldn't tell that happened, because I'm a fucking idiot.
I was just happy that I figured it out, because I don't figure this shit out usually. So.
I fucking had it just shouted at me as we were watching it. Someone explaining that the characters had switched.
Yeah.
I knew the names of the characters. I've been using them in these videos.
So
aside from their actual names, also.
So he is the doormat.
He's the doormat.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're like.
So TJ was such a doormat.
You're like oppressing me with your interpretation of it. Yeah, you're oppressing me with it.
Sorry.
Is it your comments throughout? Like those characters are different.
Oppressing me with my obviousness?
Yeah, like I'm fucking watching the thing. Am I stupid? Maybe. What are some of the things you said? You said exactly that. You explained exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
You said, oh, he's sleeping at that other person's house now. You might as well have said, I wonder if he's that other person now, and they somehow switched identities in some kind of murder mindfuck where we're given kind of different... Just people just switched around as characters.
I don't like how this review is just degenerated into sidekick abuse.
Of you? No, it's like if this thing had some subtlety to it, you stripped it all away with the most, like, the opposite of subliminal, the most liminal explanation of things that are going on, as if you're hitting me over the head with them. How do you feel about Trevor's work as the police officer of the public library? The police officer of the public library.
Yeah, I didn't know they had the police officers there.
Yeah. Couldn't they film the outside of the police officer station, actually? Why not? Why did they film the outside of the library?
Well,
he's just being a detective? Why do you have to go talk to them? I mean, is it just because it's a neutral place? That's where you would talk to a detective?
They ask you to come down to the station.
That was a public library, though.
Yeah,
Why didn't they film the station? I mean, the main thing was that guy's not I know he's not a police officer.
Well, I don't want to pretend that I understand everything that just took place.
In this movie?
There were definitely things that, like, what was my role? Like, who was I? I don't know why I was in there.
What were you doing the whole time?
Well, maybe... I guess I was kind of...
a little foreshadowing.
I was some manner of witness that initiated...
Yes, you were being interviewed at the end.
Initiated the police investigation of the real man.
Your lack of understanding of the own film that you're in just staggers my mind.
I feel
like I have a better grasp of what I'm doing right now, reviewing this.
Damn it!
What? Go ahead.
Okay. I was given a piece of paper this big, and that was my part of it.
Okay. Yeah. So you're kind of just interpreting the whole thing, how it goes around, the things you... Yeah, okay. How many times have you watched this? You never, you said.
Well, I saw the first episode before we started watching. But that was it. Yeah.
So what's this up here on now? Is that anything part of the story? Person wounded and shooting at the Airway Motel. Click on it. It'd be kind of a cool thing to just cap it off with.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this being the weird pseudo ending. It's a channel.
Breaking news this Saturday morning. Denver police investigating a shooting overnight.
That's a real news story.
So that's not the stabbing with the screwdriver part. Another thing. So Stanley, you were doing this the whole time. I used your actual name now too. So, bleep. There's 3 bleeps where I just make sure you're looking for 3 of them as you walk through. I'll count. I'll make an additional tick mark here if I do it again. But wait, you're what was my question? I thought I asked a good question and I got sidetracked.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, the screwdriver. You're doing this the whole time. You mentioned the screwdriver. Like, that's a thing. Pay attention. And then I made it part of our thing. Remember?
Sidekick abuse.
You deserve it.
I was commenting because you kept drawing in your notebook and you might have easily missed the fact that it popped up. There were many times where you were drawing instead of watching.
I was paying attention the whole time.
I didn't
I'm the biggest fan of this thing.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to make sure you hadn't missed the fact that it just popped up again. Because it was clearly an emerging theme.
So is this the end of the entire thing? This is the whole stories?
Yeah.
All of the stories, it's the end? That's the summation of the entire work?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. What should we do now?
Well, you need...
For closure. Do we have closure?
Final thoughts.
As reviewing this. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, it, at times, especially in the tantrums, it seemed to drag on a bit.
Yeah.
But at the end, I definitely think it was all kind of like, it made a nice big picture.
I think it was really good, too. I feel like, you know, as an actual thing, maybe people watching, maybe it drags on in parts, but as you feel like that's kind of what it is, because maybe it's a person just kind of making a little bit of a rambling vlog review, which is kind of like saying, well, did he intend to do these things or not, and then at the same time, are they interesting to watch or not? So I mean, you know, I was kind of playing with that idea in my head. I don't know, I was able to, we watched the whole thing and we enjoyed it. Yeah. It's like I'm kind of like, man, maybe there could be more. I don't know. No, there doesn't need to be more.
Yeah. No, even the talking about his, you know, ideal version of himself as the successful one, you know, definitely quite douchey at times, but I was actually strangely entertained by those. Even if that was what I was actually watching, I was like, well, you know, it kind of grew on me by the 3rd or 4th episode. I was like, I could watch this.
We did sit here and watch it.
Yeah, like the overly detailed technical descriptions, if they were actually spot on.
Could we watch another another one of those?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they were spot on or if he was just making shit up, but it seemed realistic enough that I feel like I might have actually learned 1 or 2 things out of it.
Yeah, it's like a thing. Like maybe there's like clues. He's like putting clues throughout. And he has this alternative story, and then he's not necessarily going to explain the whole thing. Is kind of the whole idea. Yeah. Yeah. Is that exactly what it is? How like if part of his stuff was understated, what would be overstating exactly what he's trying to do? He's making a what is it called? Pseudo-reality.
Like what was the big picture he was conveying?
Yeah.
Well, he's a dude that lives a somewhat disappointing life, at least from his own perspective.
Yeah, he makes it a fantasy world.
And he creates a fantasy world where he is his friend.
Yeah.
And at the end, he offs his friend because he hates his friend for being the real one.
So, but he's in this fake reality, like this. Okay, he makes this imaginary thing, like kind of life up in his head, right? So, then, but how did that? This is maybe a stupid question. How did that get all edited together into a bunch of videos and stuff?
Oh, you're going meta.
He's telling the story of it because he's uploading the videos and putting them on the internet. This is a problem that I go too meta too often.
Yeah. Are you wondering?
Too meta too often.
Are you wondering to what extent he is the loser?
He didn't murder anybody, I know that. I will call the police.